We welcome to the Golden Hurricane family Angie Nelp, who is the new head women's basketball coach at the University of Tulsa. Congratulations. How excited are you?
Oh, thank you. I am beyond excited to just be a part of this great university, this great community. My family and I can't wait to get out here and get settled in and get to work.
Why were you so interested in this job at the University of Tulsa?
Well, it's a great job. It is a diamond, guys. I mean, the facilities, the resources, but most of all, the education that the University of Tulsa can give our student athletes is second to none. Obviously, it's home for me, and that played a big part in being able to come back home, because it's not often that you get to do what you love, where you love to do it, and I'm very fortunate to be able to do that.
Being from Canadian Oklahoma, a great high school player here in the state of Oklahoma, how does it feel to be back here in OK?
It feels great. It's funny because everywhere that I've been, I've recruited Oklahoma kids. And so I've been always trying to convince these kids, to leave the state to come to Arizona State or down to Rice. And now, I'm so excited to get to convince them to stay. This is the place. And so I'm excited to be back home.
So I assume that'll be part of your recruiting footprint, start with Oklahoma and then expand out? Or?
Absolutely. There is so much talent here at home. And there's, talent in Oklahoma. There's talent in, surrounding states in this region that we're going to dive into pretty deep.
Your last job, obviously, was Arizona State University as an assistant coach and associate head coach. What were the areas that you felt really comfortable with at ASU? Because, they talk about you being the offensive guru and that sort of thing. But what were the things that you felt you were really good at there?
I feel like one of the best things about me is that I'm an all-around coach. I'm not just a coach that's going to be specific in one area or specific in another area, that I'm going to be able to do a little bit of everything. And obviously my role there was as our offensive coordinator on the offensive side of the ball a lot, but that doesn't mean I never did the defensive side of the ball. We all kind of did a little bit of everything and helped in every area. I think most heavily it was with offensive coordinating, player development, and recruiting there.
And yet in the Mountain West Conference at Colorado State, you were the Defensive Player of the Year one of those years. So
I know what's going on down there. And I know how to be successful on that end of the floor. And then, several mentors in my life, especially Coach Charlie, Charlie Turner-Thorne at Arizona State. The defensive mind that she has is amazing. And I really look forward to carrying out a lot of those same things that I learned from her here.
Who were your other coach influencers, so to speak?
Yeah, so Tina Langley, who was most recently named the head coach at Washington while we were together at Rice University. She was a huge influence in my life. And then, really, without even knowing it, when I was a player at Colorado State, my head coach, Tom Collin, was phenomenal. And then even our assistant coaches, 3 of them are head coaches to this day, and 2 of them are head coaches in the WBB. And so without even realizing it, I had this network of the best mentors in the game that anybody could ask for.
Arizona State obviously has a very large enrollment, but Rice, Mercer, Marquette, Arkansas, it looks like you have a really nice combination of huge public schools and also private institutions you've worked for. Does that help you in this job?
I think it does. I think that like I mentioned earlier, just being able to be at a private school with an intimate education and then carrying that into our team and having that same mission that we're going to have a personalized program with player development and individualized things and really use each player's success, help them get to their best place, and then use that success to be able to create a successful team is something I'm really excited about and have experience in. I think that's what you're saying. I've done this before at other places, being a part of recruiting student athletes to a great university with high academics, and I'm really excited about the type of players that we have here and that we're going to continue to get.
And one thing you mentioned in your press conference was teamwork and toughness. What's that mean to you?
Yes, teamwork and toughness. There's a lot of different ways to approach it. Some players, when we have been at schools, we've beaten more talented teams because we have teamwork and because we have toughness. And so with teamwork and toughness, we're going to be the more connected team. We're going to care about each other. We're going to communicate with each other. It's going to be evident on the floor in everything we do. You're going to see, bench huddles and high fives and people really finding joy in each other's success from a teamwork perspective. And then from a toughness perspective, man, we're going to work we're going to work, and we're going to be tough, and we're going to be unbreakable as a team.
And I'm going to go sideways a little bit on this, but speaking of teamwork, your husband Jake, who is a former assistant coach in a lot of different levels, and your 4 kids, there's some teamwork in the family, isn't there?
We have a team for sure. It is, my husband is amazing, and what's really amazing is not just that he is a wonderful husband and a great dad, but having been a coach, he understands, everything that I'm going through and everything that I need, and after a win, he may cook my favorite meal. He understands the preparation that goes into games, and I'm just so fortunate to have that kind of support at home. And I think having that kind of support at home allows me to be the coach that I want to be to our team.
Looking at the roster for the University of Tulsa, what did you see and what do you see?
Yeah, it's exciting to see players that have gained experience this past year and seen how they've improved. You have, some veteran players that have experience, and then you have some younger players that also impact the team, and, just being excited about even the newcomers that are coming in, and, being able to see within our team some different strengths that we could be able to utilize to help us be successful.
What are the first things you're going to do now that you're the head coach? I heard you may be working them out today.
We did. We had some workouts this morning. We have some more this afternoon. Really establishing and building that trust with these players. And like I said, even during a pandemic, you got to get a little bit creative sometimes, but, taking it one step at a time and just being able to dive into that with these players and dive into workouts and just get to work, because what makes us successful is going to be that growth that we're going to have every day. And you have to put in the work every single day to get there.
And even though you have some returnees and you have a roster that you've been able to kind of dive into and look at, recruiting never ends. So I'm assuming you're hitting the ground running on the recruiting trail too, right?
Absolutely, yes, absolutely. Having recruited Oklahoma, I have a lot of recruiting contacts, and I was the recruiting coordinator in the state of Texas. So I've always recruited this area, and I have a lot of contacts that, been talking with and reaching out to, that I'm really excited about what we can do here.
One of the quotes I saw from you on Twitter was, fight for the things that you care about, but do it in such a way that people will follow you.
Yes.
And that sounds very much like coach speak, but it's actually Ruth Bader Ginsburg,
yes,
the great late Supreme Court Justice.
Yes.
Why is that so important to you?
I love that quote because you can never do it alone. Right? No one ever achieves anything alone. Success, it never happens alone. And so if there's things that you're fighting for and that you're standing up for, right, we're going to accomplish it if we can all do it together. And so it goes back to that teamwork that we talked about and how important it is that we do it together and that we do it for each other.
Finally, Angie, how special is today for you?
It is, it is so special for me. I've been coaching, and like I mentioned, when I knew that I wanted to be a head coach, I wanted it to be the right place. I didn't just want to be a head coach, anywhere. And I feel like from the very start of this whole process, I felt it was the right place. I felt it was the right alignment of mission and values within the university. And then it's such a bonus that I get to come home. I'm so excited.
Coach, welcome to Tulsa.
Thank you, Bruce. Thank you.
Angie Nelp, who is the new head coach for TU women's basketball.